look, it's not a secret that I'm a massive Knicks fan, and so naturally I'm pretty bummed out after yesterday's loss. But as much as I want to make a video talking about, all the injuries the Knicks had and everything the Knicks didn't get the chance to do, I really do genuinely want to give the Pacers credit for everything that they did to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Now, giving the Pacers credit doesn't ignore the fact that they got very lucky in terms of injuries with the other team. That's not an opinion, that's just straight fact. Giannis didn't play at all in the Bucks series. Dame missed, I believe, 2 games. Knicks' entire roster was depleted. That's just straight up fact. The Pacers did benefit from injury luck, and that's also not to ignore the fact that they're missing Benedict Mathurin, a very, important young 15-point per game scorer off the bench. But at the same time, regardless of the injury luck you had, first of all, it's just not Indiana's problem, right? We say that with every team. It's not their problem. They don't get to set the difficulty of their playoff run. All you could do is play who's in front of you and try and take care of business. And in that sense, if any team is going to have such a unique opportunity to make the Eastern Conference Finals with depleted matchups, you would hope that they would take advantage of it, that they would seize that opportunity. And to their credit, the Pacers did. And what I also found so impressive about this Pacers team is that, throughout this 7 games, they were really, I really respected them and the way they tried to match New York's toughness. It didn't always work. Game 5 in particular, it wasn't always successful. They definitely got punked at times, but just the way they fought just from game to game, they go down 0-2, and then game 3 is this massive slugfest that really was anyone's game, and then for them to still win the series, you go down 3-2, that could have also been the end of it. And they're trying to fight on the glass, but more impressively, they're picking the guys up full court on literally every single possession. Aaron Nesmith just being so extremely physical with Jalen Brunson, wearing him down, TJ McConnell, all those guys. It was really impressive to, even if you don't necessarily have the personnel, to see them try and match New York's toughness and physicality, because that was a big talking point. It's this contrast of styles where Indy's very run and gun, New York slow it down, very physical. So for Indy to at least try to match that, and I think do a pretty good job, especially in pressing on basically every single possession, they definitely deserve props for that. And they deserve the most props for, to win a Game 7 is tough. To win a Game 7 on the road is tough. To win a Game 7 on the road in Madison Square Garden is insanely impressive. And again, as devastated as I am about how the Knicks lost, for the Pacers to come in and just absolutely take that game where they shot 67% from the field, it's one of the most successful, efficient shooting performances in playoff history, maybe even the most, or at least in a Game 7. It was so beyond impressive. I remember thinking before this game, Evan Turner, I believe it was, on his podcast with Iguodala, talked about how when his Sixers played the Celtics in the 2012 Game 7 of the second round, he said that, I think it was Iguodala told him that, we have to win this game by 15 because the refs are naturally, the league's going to favor Boston. They're going to give more calls to Boston, especially because they're the home team. You got to win that game. When you're the underdog, you got to win the game by 15 to really win it by 2. And the Pacers just, again, I thought the Knicks would win this game if for no other reason than they're at home and they're going to feed off the crowd, the energy the MSG crowd is going to bring, and the refs are going to give them, more calls. But just Indiana, they just came out and made that stuff not even a factor. Even if the Knicks got every single 50-50 call, when you're shooting 67% from the field and above 50% on threes, it just didn't matter. I think the Knicks shot almost double the amount of free throws that Indiana did, but it didn't matter. And that was just so impressive. It's impressive for any team to do, but especially this young Pacers team to come in and you just sort of assumed it was going to be too big of a moment for them, that they were going to get punked, that they were going to get out physical. Similar to what happened in Game 5, you thought, okay, at least the Knicks on their home court, they're going to get back to those ways. For Indy to just overcome all of that and absolutely demolish the Knicks and route to the Eastern Conference Finals, it was just, it was impressive. It was impressive, and it's very cool to see a young up and coming team, have this kind of success where, again, you acknowledge, okay, they did get lucky along the way, but at least they're seizing the opportunity. At least they're taking advantage of it. At least they're maximizing everything they possibly can. And it was great, especially when you consider how they went all in for Pascal Siakam at the deadline. It was sort of a move that people were like, oh, is it the right timeline, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? You got to go for it when you see an opportunity. And so I congratulate them. I commend them. I give them the respect they deserve, because it really was a hard-fought series, and Indy definitely bent at times, but they never broke. And you know, by the end of it, they emerged victoriously, and it was just very impressive. Like, that shooting display was just so deflating, but so impressive. Like, it literally didn't feel like they were gonna miss a shot. It didn't feel like they missed a shot. I maybe can count on two hands the amount of shots I remember them missing. So just congrats to Indiana. I don't know what it's going to mean against Boston. I don't know if they can get past Boston, but like, if nothing else, this was a really successful season for them already. And to do what they did against a really physical Knicks team that everyone's been praising them for being able to, you know, eke out wins and just win under any circumstance, for Indy to put a stop to that in Game 7 in Madison Square Garden, like the most hostile of environments. It upsets me, but I can certainly give credit where it's due, and so that's what this video is for.